Everyone has a look-alike, but would you believe that Shrek does too? If you have ever seen the cartoon Shrek, you would know that the titular character is a weird-looking guy who slowly becomes everyone's favorite ogre because of his amazing personality. It would also interest you to know that the cartoon character was actually based on an actual human, a man named Maurice Tillet. Shocking, right? The sad fact is that he wasn't born that way. At first, Maurice was actually a pretty handsome boy. So how did he end up becoming the inspiration for such a weird-looking character? Let's find out. Maurice Tillet was a well-known French professional wrestler in the 1930s and 1940s. Tillet lived a normal life as a teenager, even growing blonde hair with a heavenly look that earned him the nickname the French Angel from his childhood friends, until he was diagnosed with acromegaly at the age of 17. This hormonal condition, acromegaly, causes excessive bone development, especially in the hands, feet, and face. Following his acromegaly-induced growth spurt, Tillet began to look really strange. The story gets a little sad when Tillet is forced to give up on his enlistment in the French Navy in 1937, giving up his childhood ambition of becoming a lawyer to later pursue a career in professional wrestling. He knew he would be ridiculed, but still he went ahead. His scarred physique did not demoralize him, even though he became known as a freak show. Think about it. Instead of sulking and wallowing in self-pity, he went in the exact opposite direction, traveling to the US to truly profit from his illness and become a professional wrestler. He was known as the Freak Ogre of the Ring. This smart move did not just earn him cash, but fame. On August 1st, 1944, Maurice Tillet defeated Steve "Crusher" Casey to become the American Wrestling Association's world champion. Among his signature maneuvers were the palm strike, which served as his finisher, and the bear hug. Though naive individuals dubbed him the Freak Ogre of the Ring, his true identity was the French Angel. Maurice Tillet had an extraordinary life and overcame the difficulties brought on by his odd features. Sadly, the fame and cash did little for him. Despite his best efforts to lead a regular life, his illness persisted. Unfortunately, in that period, there were few treatments for acromegaly, and as his illness worsened, his cardiovascular system found it increasingly difficult to keep up with his body's constant development. His condition typically causes the bones to grow faster. When this happened, the bones in his chest region began to press into his lungs, making it difficult to breathe. Maurice started to become weaker as a result, and his strength as the French Angel in the boxing ring started to fail. As his health deteriorated, Maurice collaborated with Louis Link, a sculptor and friend, to produce multiple plaster busts of his face. The busts were first to honor his professional wrestling career, and secondly, to record the effects of acromegaly on the human body. The busts now serve as a tribute to Maurice's bravery and tenacity in the face of his illness, and Chicago's International Museum of Surgical Science is home to one of the busts. Another is currently in Bruce Pritchard's personal collection. On September 4th, 1954, Maurice Tillet, who was at the time 5 feet tall, died of a heart attack brought on by his acromegaly. It's often said that the heart attack came after he heard of the death of his friend Carl Pogello. There is a lot of rumor that the character design for Shrek was inspired by Maurice's unusual features. The two characters have a lot in common, even though DreamWorks Animation has never agreed to it. Both Maurice and Shrek had extraordinary lives because they refused to let their unusual appearances define them. Like Shrek, when Maurice appeared in public, he attracted a lot of attention. This is perhaps the reason he was picky about his friends and led a very quiet life. His closest friend Carl lived with his wife, Olga, and Maurice at 726 West Garfield Boulevard in Chicago.